Okay, thank you, Shailin, for starting the recording. So we can start from the case one. The time is yours, guys. Girls, I mean.
Okay. So we are going to discuss about the case number one. Do you mind if I read the case again? So after that we can discuss, Jenny and Natania.
Sure, no problem.
Okay, so let me just read it for us. Bukit Vista get leads from online canvasser, higher quality from MQL, good market demand and pricing, but usually the leads already satisfied with their own performance. How should we approach them? How do you create urgency for them to consider partnering with us? Okay, so that's the case number one. I have prepared some things. Do you mind if I share? And then after that, maybe Jenny, you want to share it so we can discuss it. And then after that, Natania, just like
Yeah,
our first order.
yeah, sure, no problem.
Um, I think that we have to offer a prospect a free listing with Bukit Vista. Maybe a trial period with no commitment required. Bukit Vista can get the opportunity to add more bookings for the client. If a prospective client agrees for the free listing, it will provide us the opportunity to go to the property and then meet the owner or the team, which is the start of the relationship. I mean, maybe without the free listing, it will be a little bit difficult to meet or start the relationship or go to the property. And then after that, I was thinking to come and analyze the property in order to find out who is the decision maker or the key person who can give influence to the decision maker, and also start the relationship with get to know them more. Because I'm thinking when we do the lobbying, we cannot just talk about what we need from them, but it's also important for them to comfortable with us, so they can be open and then they can share some information on areas where they need help, that we can use to create urgency for them to consider partnering with us. I always thinking as a business development, maintaining the relationship is very important, even if the leads refuse to have the partnership with the Bukit Vista now. If we have a good relationship with them, with anyone, they will remember us, and I believe maybe one day we can have the partnership. That's from me about the case number one.
So should I go on for the case number one as well now? Okay, for case number one, I typically have the same opinion with Putri because in my experience, like relationship is really important between the two parties in order to reach an agreement. So we have to find out. My first thinking is we have to find out what they lack of, what they really need of from a partnership before we go into the agreement because obviously they're gonna have a lot of like approach from other party like hey we can do this for you and blah blah blah, but we have to really find the point. And as Putri say, I'm really agree they have to be feel comfortable with us. It's gonna be a long-term contract, it's gonna be a long-term in relationship. One you step wrong is not gonna good in the end. So there's no point to being like dodgy or being like behind their backs. Just put the clause on the written so they feel comfortable. And I think it's the hardest part to get their trust. The moment they trust us, the relationship we're gonna go long away, and then we can reach more party or more facility to in order to work with us because mouth to mouth the reference is really important in Indonesia instead of the review on the internet because the review is can be bought these days, so we're not sure is it the review is correct or not because I pretty much do my own research instead of according but based on the review market. Can we trust the review market? Personally, I in the 50-50. So I really totally agree. We have to do really slow. It's not slow approach, but really intimate approach. That's what I'm trying to say. That is for me.
Yeah,
For case number one.
yeah. Yeah, in addition, I would like to. So I have this experience. So I did the pitching for MRT in Jakarta, and then long time ago, before I did, before there is a pitching, I already started a relationship. So for the government places, we cannot just come and then knock their door and then ask the locations. And then when the pitching is about to start, their invitation jump into the spam into my email, so I didn't see the email. And then the person that I start to build a relationship, and then she checked with me, uh, why I didn't respond to the email, and then I'm like, what? And then when I checked the email, I actually kind of like late to submit the documents. But because I have a good relationship with them, with her especially, and then he kind of like let the document in, even actually it was late. It's a government day. That's why I always believe that whether you have the deal today or maybe tomorrow or even the next year, if you have a good relationship and then you keep maintaining the relationship, you will get the partnership at the end. That's my addition.
I can make another edition if I need to, if it's necessary, because I'm not really sure how it's going. But yeah, I have
Yes.
similar experience. It's just
Yeah.
like I lost. It's not about the contract and the spam or something like that. I just like, you getting busy and you lost that focus on the person, and then it's already passed. But because they know me and they trust me, they just contact me, hey Jen, you forgot about this. So, oh, I'm so sorry, and then just let me go, and then just like let me get the contract, and no problem whatsoever. By the end of the day, they even like introduce me to other vendor, to other people that looking for the similar what they're looking for. So from there, I got more clients instead of like losing clients. So relationship is really important in this part. So I think that's it for me.
Okay. Maybe Natania, you just joined the call.
Yeah, I'm
Uh,
sorry that I'm sorry for interrupting, but what are we discussing right now? Because I like just having my problem with electricity.
okay, no worries. So, I read the case number one, and then
Okay.
I shared my thought about the case number one, and then after that, Jenny shared her thought about the case number one too. We kind of like agree that we have to build the good relations. So that is the main topic, and then maybe it's your time, Natania, to share about your thought about the case number one.
Okay. So, for my opinion, for this case one, how we create urgency for the MQL or maybe the leads. Well, because this is from canvassing, there was a direct communication with the prospect, right? So here for me, for how creating the urgency, well, I definitely creating the problem. Why? Why is this important? Because, well, I would like to listen about the pain points of the property owner have. Um, Make them realizing that there is a problem, or just think that they haven't do, then connecting the dots how hiring us will resolve this problem. And why is this important? I would like to deliver the concrete action that I would like to ask to them. How about the interior design, about the location or the facility of the property? Because it is related to the market segmentation, that the market is spreading to some OTA, Traveloka, Airbnb, Ticket.com, and others. They have their own users and segments, whether it's family, couple, backpacker, and content creator. Well, right now there's an increasing demand for content creator making a content. They need to take place. So from here, we could help them understand defining and shaping the market segmentation of the property, and then realizing them that we could give any special treatment or maybe the marketing side to help them creating their traction. Sorry. And then the second one, I'm sorry for this to be a longer. It could be a referral program. Well, I had a short story that I had a friend of mine. He was one of the property owner in Yogyakarta. He was joining Bukit Vista at that time. He was really satisfied in the first half year of contracting with Bukit Vista, but in the end, the quality service is decreasing, and yeah, it's really disappointed that what I think is related to the question, if you ask my honest opinion, by maintaining or increasing the quality of service, our client could be the ambassador or advocate of our product itself. it's kind of word of mouth referral program. We get the program for our existing client, while we also offering them incentive to refer us more clients. So this is, I think, from me, my solution to acquire the MQL, the SQL, or the leads, they could be our partner, or yeah, leads to be attraction. I think that's all, Kak Putri.
So you're trying to show them what is their issues or their problem, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
Okay. My question is, how do you know about the problems and everything? Because from the case is, we got the information from the online canvasser. How do you divine the problem, the issues?
Okay, so I would like to ask. Well, this is about the conversation for the communication with the leads for our potential client or prospect. It's kind of asking about how the marketing going, what is a usual problem of operational things, how they could acquire more sales and monthly, and then related to the property itself, how could they acquire the right segmentation for the property, how is it going for all of this current time being. So I think it's about kind of longer communication, and yeah, we could dig some information for that. I
Okay,
think
so it
that's,
means you're contacting them, and then you're asking what is their problem.
yeah, also conducting an initial meeting with some kind of informal conversation, kind of informal hangout with the potential client. That's
I don't know. In my opinion, like if we only like let's say on the initial contacting our initial contact, maybe not many people want to be open on their problem or
yeah.
issues. So if they don't experience the Bukit Vista first, and then I don't think also easy for us to make appointment. People busy, if we contact the owner of the property, we need to offer them something that is good for them to
Yeah.
add bookings, to add value. It's also, it may be a consideration for the owner. That's why, Jenny, on the first thing that I had in mind is we need to give a Bukit Vista um, a free listing with a trial period of time, so they can experience, and then they can know that Bukit Vista can add the value, and then so after that maybe they can, uh, the owner of the property or team can be open on the on the issues that they have. I don't know, Jenny, about you. Maybe you have other opinion.
I'm totally agree with the free listing. Obviously, and we can give a time length. Like during that time, we can also like try to gain more information internally in order to know what's wrong with why how to improve the sales and how we're gonna do the best approach for them. It's not about just yeah, we do our research. We give them um a free listing, and that is the time I'll gain our information because that is a research as well as a survey indirectly. I'm really agree with what Putri say, and I think that is the best approach for my opinion.
Okay, so we are kind of like 1 minute left. Let's just come into the conclusion. So maybe we just like
Okay,
give them the free listing, build a
free
good relationship,
listing, yeah,
and after that, like Tanya said, we try to get to know them and then gather all of the information, what area that they need
yep,
help with us. I think
yeah,
that's all from
yeah.
the
That's
case
it.
number one.
I think it's mostly like a friendly approach or
Yes,
family approach in a way.
yeah,
Yeah, I
definitely.
really agree on that, Kak.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you guys for the discussion, the first sub discussion for
Yep.
the case one. It's very interesting to hear from you guys, the point of view of salesperson, and I think that you can actually approach business. And yeah, from here, let's go to the case two. 15 minutes from now.
Okay. So,
Okay.
um,
You want to start?
uh,
It's up to you.
maybe Jenny, it's your turn. Maybe you just read the question.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
same for me and
Okay.
then after that,
Okay. Let's read the case first.
yes.
So we had contacted MQL and had the first meeting and pitching meeting with them. They requested to have time for a while to discuss with their internal team, but then we received no response after several times follow up. How would you follow up the leads? Okay, because I'm the one who read it, I'm going to go first. So
Yes.
the way I'm going to approach it, I just go there personally. I know it seems unpolite, but in because there's a culture, it's a different culture with the Western when we have to make appointment in order to come in. But I think Indonesia is more towards direct approach, like just get in there first and see how it goes. Um, from my experience so far, it's just like we go in, try to be nice and say, hey, we have already followed up for a couple of times. We haven't heard from you back, so may I speak with someone in charge? And then we just discuss whatever we discussed before and listen to their opinions. And then maybe we just ask them, can we talk to the person who really in charge if we didn't meet them yet? So that is how I'm gonna do this. It sounds like too direct, but I think in this thing is necessary. In this part is necessary, but if, however, if we are currently we all social distancing, we're not gonna meet people in person, so we can't keep nagging people. So we might be giving a call now and then, just try to be patient, but then we also kind of push things a bit more instead of slowly, or we can, like try to make a relationship with the maybe administration, maybe the secretary or whatever, the one that are close to the person in charge, so we can get in. Get in. What I mean is get the conclusion of our proposal, so we know what gonna be. We know what we're gonna do next, and then we can get our result. That is from me, I think.
Okay. Maybe after this, Natanya, do you want to continue?
Sure, sure, Kak Putri, Kak Jenny. So from my, I really agree with Kak Jenny point of view. It's a direct communication, but yeah, also the problem right now it's COVID. We need social distancing, and it could be online communication. So what I think about most effective ways to reach the unresponsive leads for MQL for the leads instead, I would like to choose to diversify the approach. Some reason maybe what I think being the leads being unresponsive is maybe they have a deeper or complex reason why they don't respond, or maybe they just don't bother checking their email or their WhatsApp that much. So I would like to try texting instead of emailing, and then after a couple of texts, yeah, maybe it's time to try the phone call. Or maybe I could message over Twitter or Facebook, I mean, the official account of the property and others. So the main point here is using more than one type of outreach, because it can increase the chances of we could restart the conversation. And after all this effort that we could do, sometimes there are some leads who remains unresponsive, and I have the assumption here that it might be that just our prospect wasn't ready to buy or purchase at that time. But what I think and what I know from reading that 80% of potential opportunities are becoming a lost deal just because we don't have any trace. It is lacking of following up, because people need to be ensured that they are making the right decision to choose us as a partner. So the long-term plan and strategy for this is I would like to do the kind of strategy building the top of mind awareness. How is that? So we could still communicate, sending the email, and this way, when they are ready, we will be the first company that they think of when they are ready. So I think that's all from me. So how about Kak Putri
Okay.
relating to this case?
My experience. So last year on the pandemic, yeah, we had a very strict social distancing, more strict than now. But the things that is from my experience, the thing that's never changed is, like Jenny said, the communication follow up. In Indonesia, it's different. We need to be direct. So what I will do, I will just like go to the property and then check. And then so when we had the first meeting, I normally see who is the person in charge, the key person, or a person who can make influence to the decision maker. I will try to get closer to the person, and then if I normally come, I know it maybe they didn't reply our text on everything, but I will still come, knock on the door from my experience, and then try to do persuasive in a good way, in a friendly way. And then after that, maybe I will ask them to one day go out, have a coffee, have lunch, or have dinner, just to build a relationship, make them open. Direct is I choose the direct communications for this case. Sorry, because it's different. When you see the person in Indonesia, it's still different. They feel like if you meet them face to face, and then that's the relation is starting. That's the relationship is building. Then after that, after we meet, and then if we keep maintaining the relationship, and then they will give us more informations. They will not maybe say no, but they will give informations that maybe we can use to do follow up for the next follow up for the next step, or to make them paying attention on us. So it's kind of like we hear, and then we creating something, and then we do other follow up. I think that's all. So me and Jenny kind of like have the
Yeah,
same
we kind of
thought.
have the same
Yeah.
vibe. Yeah,
Natania, acting, and then different approach, but it's depends on the people that we met. That's what I see.
agree, agree. I
True.
totally agree.
Because if we met, kind of like make sure people they will like to come and then see the person. If
Mm-mm.
person is a little bit younger, and then they know they like to be texting, they don't like to meet up. So actually it's depend. This is my opinion.
Yeah, true, Kak, benar.
Yeah, I totally agree because different approach of communications is different for some people. Some people just comfortable with the text instead of emails. Some people prefer you call them. I personally love to call. Texting take a long time, so I personally like to talk straightforward uh, from my for older people, I think that mostly older people they like to face just
Yeah.
because they can look at you and they okay this person I can trust and they let go and then like Putri say even though they didn't give you straight away but they will put you in back of their head. So the moment there's an opportunity they will call you up and say hey I have this do you want to do this. So
Yeah.
it's really true. That is my opinion as well. So yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah, I have an experience. You must be know Kota Casablanca. Kota Casablanca is the prime mall in Jakarta. Like all of the
Okay.
and they're like on the listing, and then we were also on the listing that time. I normally like I know that they like to hang out. They like to go out, see the people, and then that's what I do like for a year to get a space in Kota Casablanca. So that's why it's from my experience it's like you have to really see the people, what you have to know the people, you have to um, see and read the people, what they
Yeah.
like, what they don't like, and then you just like be with it. And then after they give you the opportunity, don't bail it. You have to prove it that you can do it.
Yes, I kind of like have similar experience, but it's not listing or something. It's just like I'm meeting the parents of my students. So the mom is still hesitated to send her daughter to overseas for study. So I started meeting with the moms, and then the moment we met, half hour talk, deal signs. That's it. So it's a face-to-face approach in terms of like building those relationships is really important, although at the moment it's really hard to be done because of the social distancing and just like this remote working. And yeah, there's a lot of things, but then Zoom meeting also can be an
Yes.
alternative because the moment they saw you and they feel comfortable to chat, then I can say that you 50% on the way.
Okay. Natanya, do you have anything to for you to add?
Well, for my case, sometimes with my previous relationship with business development, I work in IT and also it's kind of education and mental health industry as well. And sometimes we do have some unresponsive leads, and um, in the end of the time, sometimes despite of our best effort, some leads will remain unresponsive by my experience. So probably there is a time when there are a better prospect on which we need to focus, focusing our time and resources. So yeah, sometimes there is a time where we should, yeah, it may be a time to let go and focus on another prospect. Maybe that's the additional information that I would like to add, Kak Putri and Kak Jenny.
Okay, maybe it's time for Jenny to make the conclusion of our
Yeah.
discussion for this.
Okay. The conclusion is, I think, is for the case number one. I think I draw a conclusion that we need to follow the list directly. That, correct me if I'm wrong, because just in case we doesn't have the same page, so we can do it directly. We can try online approach as this social distancing. We can do like Tanya say, we can do different approach of communications. See which one is work, because everyone have a different approach. So if really we show that the second conclusion is we saw this consumer or the client is not prospect after like maybe we try 3 or 4 months, we can let them put them aside, not letting go, but we focus to a better prospect one. Just don't lose our time to someone that might not be the prospect client, because maybe we have a better one in the outside. Sometimes it doesn't work. It means like you have better one later. I think that is the conclusion. Everyone agree?
Yep.
Okay. So I think we're done for the case number two. Maybe Tanya wanna do the case number three first.
Okay. Karvi, you would like to add things, or I just
Yeah,
continue?
you can start the
Okay.
discussion, please.
So Kak Jenny and Kak Putri, I would like to read the case tree. Uh, so here it is. We have set up meetings with the sales team of a property in Seminyak area. And after some discussion, the sales team would let Bukit Vista to manage their Airbnb account, while for other OTAs, Booking.com, Ticket.com, and others, they will be in charge. Responding to that offer, we suggested an option to use the allotment strategy, where we could manage few units of the properties exclusively. We then met the owner to discuss more on the partnership opportunity. In the end, the owner decided not to proceed with the deal. This is due to the owner has his own marketing team to market the property and want to have control in the brand. So, what is the main problem in this case, and what is your suggestion to solve the problem? So, probably I would like to deliver it first.
Yes.
So for me, I would like to firstly conducting post initial client meeting here would be online or maybe virtual or offline meeting, um, setting a good time from them. So what I think here, firstly, prospect will often require more in-depth information to help them understand if our service is right for their business, right? So instead of talking about benefits, again, I would like to listen about the problem, about the pain points, that then listening to some kind of problems that they have. Because what I'm gonna ask for them is, we need to know that what exactly the scope of marketing that they want to do, and then how big the scope they want. So we could negotiate the portion of partnership we have, revising the contract that we proposed before, yeah, previously. Because what I think is sometimes we have to consider about the bargaining position. If this brand of property could be a strategy for us to stepping into a higher bargaining position to another, acquiring property owner, why don't we lower our bargaining? But at the same time, this brand could be the next competitive advantage of ours to acquire another exclusive property in Bali, I could say. So I think that's all from me. So the next would be Kak Jenny. How do you think about this?
I think the main problem is from this case study. From my opinion, the main problem is because the owner want to have more exclusivity in their property. So the moment we just, it's really is really understandable. Like, of course we want the right in our hands, they still can manage it. So we have to find the loop. We have to find the loop where we can get in without too. I can say it's greedy, like because a business, of course, a business is a greedy business, so they also want to have a profit and everything like that. But we gonna fishing a big fish later on if we try to be patient. Like we just took whatever we get from them, as we can say that we can assume they are a big one. So the moment we know what they really want from us, we can adjust with, it's like you back a step, you will gain two steps. So when they put out the requirement, we can maybe fulfill one or two of them, but we can request more. It's not more, but we request a certain important thing from them. So when you do that kind of approach, they feel like, okay, this company need me, so they'll let me do whatever I want. So it's okay, we go with them. So make them feel that they're winning, but instead we are the winner in the end. So it's kind of like try to put our stamps on their land in a way to say it. But then by the end of the day, we didn't look we still gonna get some profit or get some opportunity to upscales, although it's not much. But imagine the exports that you will get or the company will get the moment we're gonna arrange a agreement with this property, and then we can have more in the future. Meanwhile, my suggestion for the problem is do the like I don't know what it's called. I forgot what it's called, but I think it's like you. I read it in a book like it's like a war. So you just give them one or two, but you gain like more than that without them knowing.
Yeah.
It sounds like cheeky, but it's not. Actually, it's written. It's just they feel they're winning. Okay, I'll win. I get what I want, but they will forget the fine print below. So we still have the fine print, so we still get it, but then they, from my experience, Indonesia doesn't like to read fine print. So you can put in the fine print. So it's kind of like the way we do business, but we disclosure it. So if they didn't read it, it's not mean we guilty. If they sign it, that means they read it. So, but we can't. From my experience, we didn't need to gain so much if we want to do a long-term business, because based on the case study, they have a huge range and they have their own marketing team. So what we need to do is make them realize they don't need the marketing team, they have us. So the moment we do once and they gain money from it, and then they will think, I get money from this, why do I need a marketing team? I know it sounds really, yeah, you make people lose the job, but it's a business. So I know it's really nice in here. So it's just like make them think they doesn't really need a huge marketing team. They have us. They sit down, they lay back, and they got the profit as well. So make sure them that we are really what they need instead of the marketing team. We know what we're doing. So that is my suggestion for the problems. I think maybe Putri want to add some more.
Yeah. Okay. Wow. As we know, the property in Seminyak is potential. It's a prime location. A potential, the client that we are getting here is a potential client. A beautiful girl is always hard to get. Yeah, always takes like prime locations. From my experience, it takes like a long time to get, but once we get it, then we know it's worth the wait and everything.
Yeah.
But I think in my opinion, the key issue in this case is Bukit Vista missed the opportunity to manage a portion of the client's business, which would have given Bukit Vista a foot in the door. Perhaps the allotment strategy proposal was too aggressive, and the result is Bukit Vista did not win a new client because at the end the owner closed the discussion. Yeah. I think maybe first proving to the client the value that Bukit Vista can add through managing their Airbnb, and could then potentially open the discussion to take more on OTAs as the relationship evolves. Because then again, business development is about a relationship. We need to people take some time to know us more, and then we need to prove them that we can add values. I think my opinion kind of like the same, like also Jenny. Um, at the end, once the owner knows and then they can see that how much value that we can add to Bukit Vista, then all of the property owners, they are thinking about profit at the end. They will calculate, they will think, oh, okay, he will get this much from Bukit Vista. And then after that, they will think about efficiency, especially at this time. All of the landlords, businessmen, all of the business that is happening, they're thinking about the profit. Uh, they want to get back as normal like before the pandemic. But yeah, then again, I will say we need to prove them first on the chance that they give us on the Airbnb. They already said like, okay, you can manage the Airbnb. Then why not? Then we have to prove them, and then after that, we start to have the communication again, and then we can talk about the other OTAs after we prove the value that we can add. So I think that's all for from me. Maybe do you, Jenny or Natalia, do you have any other uh, do you have any other addition or what?
I just want to add, yes, I agree with you. Like the problem is, I forgot to mention it. The problem for the Bukit Vista is too aggressive, especially with the really, what is it, the Seminyak area, because we know that it's really, really, really like huge area and people gonna go there. So I know it's kind of like in the business we should supposed to be aggressive, but in some way it doesn't work that way. So I think it's slowly approach and just take whatever you got at the moment, as long as you got something. I mean, like um, everyone need a process. So let the owner, like Putri say, let the owner think about you and let the see prove it. Just doesn't. If you make a promise, just make sure you do it double, so they feel like, okay, that's great. So I'll just leave it the rest to you. Then it will fall to the laps by itself. It doesn't have to be do too much work afterwards after you get the loop. So don't be too aggressive and don't be too greedy to get allotment of some of the land. They're not gonna let you do it. They still want to get handle of it because that is theirs. So yeah, I totally agree. That is all I want to add on. I don't know if Natania has something else.
Well, I don't think I have. I'm gonna add some another argument, but so I think we all cover up. As a final word, I would like to recap our argument that we are having the similarity about, specifically me and Kak Jenny, about the owner exclusivity, by knowing what they want us to do and then make them feel like a winning. I mean, with also with the similarity argument with Kak Putri, and we also talk about the prime location, that they are worth the wait, and then it's about proving the client that our value about managing their Airbnb, we could also provide the best service. So yeah, again with Kajeni argument, that make them realize that they only need us and they don't need their marketing team, huge marketing team. So yeah, I think that's all my recap for um, argument as a conclusion. I think that's all, Kak Arfi and Kak Shalin.
Okay, thank you very much. We actually still have 5 minutes. So
Okay.
maybe I would like to add one more question, if I may.
Wow. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so
Sure.
this is very interesting. Nata actually mentioned about one case where one client is not satisfied with the service that we are
Yeah,
providing, right?
yeah.
So in that case, how would you maintain the relationship? How would you um, prevent partner to offboard from your service. So yeah, it's an open question for anybody who wants to start first.
Okay, well, thank you, Karfi, for the question, but I would like to describe the story itself. I would make the longer description of the problem. At that time, my friend, as the property owner in Yogyakarta, in Banguntapan, south area of Yogyakarta, at first he was really satisfied, but at the moment, um, there was a tourist that the client that visiting the property of his, and they had a problem. Their family, and they are having a problem with the gas. They want to cook something to eat, but they only could deliver the problem through Bukit Vista team at that time. So the problem is it took 4 until 5 hours to respond and took action of it. And I think this is really crucial. The fast respond and then um, the quality of service that they really need to took action by the time the problem is there. So I think what to prevent and what we can do for this overcoming this problem is we maintain a best quality of communication. Well, because here Bukit Vista as the property manager, we could be the representative as for the property owner. So what we can do is making the best hospitality, best service to the client. That yeah, it's like we own the property itself. So what we have to do is providing the best communication and responsive action through the problem of the client. I think that's it, Garfi.
Okay, thank you. So being more responsive, yeah.
Yeah.
The time gap is quite big at that time. Okay, thank you, Nata. And yes, Jamie.
I don't know if I can add something. Okay, so from Nata's problem, I think I encountered once. Like, it's not once; it's more than once. Actually, it's my personal experience because when I was in Australia, I always have a like just say I have a problem with my credit card company. So, okay, they just offer me like free this, and that, and blah blah blah. And then when I get my bills, it's not free at all. It's not free. It's totally not free. So I'm not sure what they do. I'm not sure what the customer service being trained on, but it's not the same as what they say. So what I'm doing is I try to call a person that know what they're doing and know the right information. But I always get the wrong information, get bumped now and then, there and there. So from that experience, I feel like it doesn't have to be specific. You doesn't have to be put a specific person for a specific problem, but you have to make sure. Yes, I agree with Nata. Communication is really important. The portal have to be up 24/7, and also you have to make sure your customer service or the person in charge know what they're doing, know what they're talking about, so the customer doesn't have to be bumped there and there in order just to get their problem solved like in 5 minutes, but they took them 48 hours to get a conclusion from their problem. Because as a customer before, as customer as well, I feel that is so annoying and wasting of my time. So I really totally agree. From my opinion in here, the conclusion is get your staff proper training. That's it. Although the platform is really important to make sure that the customer get the help every single time, but the person who carry out the customer service duty is also crucial. Get a proper training. Without proper training, you can't deliver anything. You can't just send them with a booklet. Okay, this is a manual guide. They're not gonna have a time to read it on, and I'm not sure they're gonna read it on. So you just have to make sure they know what they're doing, and make sure you cover all the basic information how to deal with the customer in order to get a conclusion faster. That being that kind of platform that will make the customer satisfaction higher. So although they might not fill up your review, we can say you got mouth-to-mouth marketing, so it will lead on and on. So that's better marketing for you in a way, regardless of you do the social media or maybe whatever marketing in the market, but I think get your internal staff properly trained is also very, very important. That's it.
Okay, thank you. So you emphasize on the importance of the frontliners to
Yeah,
be properly trained and understand and have good problem solving. Yeah.
yeah. Because when people feel annoying, they're not gonna come back to you.
I see. Okay, thank you. And maybe to Putri.
Okay. Bukit Vista has Bukit Vista application now, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. Bukit Vista Go, if I'm not mistaken, for the partners. So the communication will get better, hopefully, with these applications. So I think that's one of the really really good things, to avoid all of the noise in the communication, to prevent the problem or the issues that Natania had experience with your friends, yeah, in Jogja. I think that's really good. I really support on that, and I'm kind of like aware on that Bukit Vista Go applications. And then maybe I just add a few things about when the problem is happening, and then it's really important to the staff to know or to be trained how to handle the unhappy customers, because normally people run away from the problem, so it makes the guests even like angry or disappointed. If at least they train with the customer relations or how to handle the problem, and then know where to go even he or she cannot solve the problem, I think it also uh, it also will calm the guests, because then again Jenny said the review, it's good, it's right, because we go anywhere, before we check the place we normally see the review. I normally see the Google reviews. Does the place have the website, does the place has a review on the Google, is it good or not? Let's say today guests have a problem, but next day, and then uh, the staff who are there cannot really handle the problem. But the next day, if we solve the problem, and then let's say one of the people at Bukit Vista or representative came and say sorry, and then with small things, and then it will really help the problem, and then hopefully the guests will write a good review, even though there is a problem, but we try to solve it. I think, but yeah, the Bukit Vista application, I think hopefully it will really, really help to prevent the communications and everything to get better. I think that's for me, Arfi.
Okay, thank you, Putri, for mentioning BT Go application and also the importance of reviews. Yeah. So yeah, I think that's all for the discussions today. Thank you very much for Putri, Jenny, and also Nata for attending this FGD session with Bukit Vista. I believe me and Shailin get like insightful inputs, yeah, for our company as well. And yeah, whatever the result will be, I wish you good luck for the next endeavors. So yeah, have a good day, everyone.